Hello, Mindsetters, and I'm so excited to be here. The name of this show is Learn Extra Live with me, Abraham. And yes, this is one of my favorite subjects. You've guessed it right. It is business studies. I'm not alone. Also, I'm having my best teacher ever. Anita, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I so missed you, hey?
Oh, I'm so glad to be back, and I'm so glad you're here with me.
Thank you so much. What are we doing today?
Today we're doing investments. I know some of you find it difficult, but we are going to go through it, and it's going to be a breeze.
I'm so going to enjoy it too. I just can't wait because Mindsetters have been saying, when is business studies? This is the chance now.
Awesome.
Right, Mindsetters, let me tell you how you can join us. You can ask your questions or send us your comments of our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Learn Extra. If you haven't liked the page, make sure that you like it right now, because also on that page, you can also let us know what are your wishes for Father's Day, which is going to be on the 16th of June, next week, Sunday. We'll make sure that we also give you a chance so that you see that message on that day, and tell your dad that watch Mindset DSTV at 319, and you can see the message that I have for you. But other than that, you can also tweet us at Learn Extra. We'll follow you back. Lastly, download your notes. Proudly sponsored by Macmillan, and you know we love Macmillan. They're having some nice ebooks that they've just launched, and I'll make sure that I'll update you on the page on what is happening on that one. But download your notes right now. They're for free. I'll send you the link. That's how we roll. It's so nice to be here on a Thursday and learn a lot. Anita, take your time. I can talk for 24 hours.
Oh, so can I. So we can have a problem.
Yes.
Okay, guys, let's start. Let's get going. Today we're talking about investments. Let's have a quick look what we're doing. We're doing investments. We're going to talk specifically about shares, debentures, unit trusts, fixed deposits, a little bit of calculation, but nothing hectic. And then we're going to do some examples of questions in the exams. So let's start, guys. Let's fly away here. We're talking about, firstly, the types of investments that we get. Now, there's two types, and it's very important that you know why a business would be investing or a person would be investing. Firstly, we can have capital investments. Just want to see. There we go. We can have a capital investment, and we can have a financial investment. Why would a business have a capital investment? Capital investment would be for them to purchase equipment, assets, something that they're going to use to make profit in their business. And then, why would someone have a financial investment? This is to make your capital grow. This is when you've got a little bit of extra money left and you decide, I am now going to invest this into shares or unit trusts or anything else. So we're going to start off by looking what is an investment portfolio. Guys, when you're in there in the real world one day and you're earning a salary and you want to now start investing, it is so good to make use of a stockbroker. It is such a difficult thing to determine how much to invest, where to invest, what is high risk, what is low risk. So we're going to look a little bit at it, and you're going to have a bit of a background, but it's very good to get professional advice and not to play with this yourself, because you can lose all your money and then you've got nothing left. So let's look at what is an investment portfolio. Guys, it means I have an investment in a few different things. So ideally, I want an investment portfolio to be diverse. Now, if you think back to last week's lesson, we spoke about diversity, and diversity means to be different. So I want different elements in my investment portfolio. Why would I do that? I don't know. Abram, do you know? Why do you think we'd have a diverse portfolio?
Maybe just to have high earnings in a way, your savings for future reasons.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that we've got a backup plan. We need to ensure that one day when we retire, we've got money. But there's another reason, guys. We don't want all our eggs in one basket. Now, you've heard that saying before when your mom says to you, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It makes sense. Because if I take all my savings money and I only buy shares and something goes wrong, that basket drops, the eggs break, and I've got nothing left. So it's better to have an egg in the investment basket, an egg in unit trusts, an egg in a fixed deposit, an egg in collectibles, and that is what we call a diverse portfolio, to spread out my risk. Let's continue. Let's have a look here. So I said we need a variety. Variety, I mean, it must be diverse. It is important for us to have a diverse one, which means we do not invest all of our capital into one investment. That's very important. We don't just want it in one investment. We want to spread out the risk between various investment classes. Let's have a look here. This protects the investor against loss. If one of your investments loses value, you still have the other investment class to fall back onto. Let's have a look. I said to you guys here, why would I want to invest in shares? Why would you want to? Why wouldn't you just go and put your money under your bed? Shares have the potential to make a lot of money, but we need to remember that they're very high risk. It goes up and it goes down, and then the price is high and then the price is low. So you need to monitor this very carefully. Let's have a look at what I said. Just as an introduction, when I purchase a share, I am in fact purchasing a piece of that company. In other words, it's like I own a little bit of that company. So I'm not just putting my cash into the bank or under my mattress. I'm now actively being part of a business. Let's have a look here. When you invest in shares, you receive dividends. This is very important. They love asking this in the exams. What is your return on shares? We call it dividends. When you sell your shares at a higher price than you bought them for, we say that there was a capital gain. I gained. I made a profit. It's a good thing. Let's carry on. Ooh, this is important. Where do I buy and sell shares? We call it the JSE Ltd. What does the JSE stand for? Do you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it Johannesburg Stock Exchange?
Yes. Johannesburg Stock Exchange, but they also accept Johannesburg Securities Exchange. So any one of those
cheat,
two.
actually. I saw that security, so
Yes,
I was like...
they accept both of them. So you guys can use both of those in the answers. Next, we say public companies buy and sell their shares on the JSE. Now, you've probably done forms of ownership in grade 10 and 11, and there's a public company and a private company. A public company always has the letters LTD behind their names. Limited. Who can tell me why? I bet you guys know this at this stage. Why does it have the word limited behind it? Let's have a look here. There we go. LTD. It's always behind it. I told you here, it equals limited. This refers to the term limited liability. Think back to forms of ownership, guys. Limited liability says there is a limit, it's a ceiling to the amount of money that I could potentially lose if that business goes down, if the business doesn't work. And that is a big benefit, because we know that when we buy those shares, we might lose that money. That's all. I don't stand the risk of someone coming to my house, taking my car, taking my shoes, taking my kids. That'd be terrible. I don't want them to take my son. Let's carry on. Shares are high-risk investments. I told you this. You've got the potential to lose all your money in one day. So make sure, guys, I wrote it down for you, that you use a stockbroker when you're going to trade shares. Now, the next important thing we need to know is, why do companies sell shares? A company will sell shares to gain capital. Why would they do that? Why can't they just go to the bank? Banks charge them interest, a very high interest. So now they're clever. They're saying, okay, we need a little bit of capital. We want to expand our business. So we're going to put 100 shares onto the JSE. People are going to buy the shares. We're going to get in the money. And then we can expand the company or do whatever we want to with that money to make the company grow. So we're saying here they want to raise more capital. They could also sell shares because they would like to expand their business, or they need the capital to buy assets. Machines, guys. Now you're thinking, how much money can they need? One machine can cost them 5 million rand, 10 million rand, 20 million rand. So they could use it to buy assets. Now, let's look at what is a prospectus. A prospectus is like an invitation. It's like when you have a birthday party. You're going to say to people, you're going to make a little group on Facebook with an event, and you're going to say, oh, it's my birthday party, and you can put a little sticker. This is exactly what they're doing. They are advertising themselves and saying, please come and buy shares because we are the best. We need you to buy in our company. This is why we are the best. Look at our financials, look at our products, look at what we've achieved, and buy our shares. So we say this is an invitation to the public to buy the shares in a business. A prospectus gives a clear picture of the business, the history of the business, and what the business is all about, and what the business would like to achieve in future. So remember that one. Prospectus is like an invitation. Think of a party. Types of markets. I explain this to my kids in a certain way, and now please, you're going to laugh at home. I know this, but it's so easy to remember. There's a market that's called a bull market, and there's a bear market. Now, I say to my little kiddies, when I teach them in grade 8 or 9, I say, think of a bear, and you think of a big bear, and it's scary, and it's coming over you, and it wants to attack you. I see that as negative. I think it's very negative. So, a bear market says, we expect the prices to go down. We are very negative. Where a bull market says, I don't know if a bull is positive, but I just picture him running around, da 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 da. I am so positive. Better than a bear, I would say, coming down on you. Bull market is positive, a bear market is negative. So what am I saying there? I want you to buy shares in a bear market. In other words, the price is low. So buy at a low price, and then I want you to sell in a bull market, which is when the price is higher. Then we know we're going to make a little bit of profit. Quickly, question. What do I call my payment that I receive? The remuneration for shares, what do we call it? I hope someone's going to answer that. I'm not going to say. You're going to tell me on Facebook. Let's see if you can do that.
Like explanations, Anita, especially about the bull, because it reminded me of, I used to play darts, so there's a bullseye there.
And then it's good.
And it's good.
That's a good one.
It's a bonus. When you get a bullseye, you can even win.
Ah, yes. You helped me now. I'm going to remember that in class now for the next time. Guys, I'm just going to mention the types of shares that we get. There's 4 types of shares. They're called preference shares, ordinary shares, founder shares, and bonus shares. We've done investments, we've done shares. Be aware of those. They like asking them in multiple choice, fill in the missing words. So keep an eye on that. But I think we can take a quick break.
I like that. While we take that quick break, I don't want them to move because I've got exciting news that I need to tell them. Ready for that? Mindsetters, we are giving away 2 double tickets just for you and your friend to come watch this movie. It's called After Earth. We've been playing the trailer for you. It is starring by Will Smith and his son Jaden Smith. So we're having some cool prizes in this awesome hamper. It could be yours. So make sure and don't give up. I've seen so many mindsetters on the page saying we've been entering but we don't win. It doesn't matter. If you don't win today, you might win some other day. It means when you don't win, somebody else is winning. So let's keep up the hope, mindsetters, and know that there's always a second chance if there is, but you know, we fair on mindset. So keep on trying. You watch the trailer now. After the trailer, I'll be announcing yesterday's winner and also tell you what you need to do to enter for the competition today. See you after this. Welcome back, Mindsetters. Now, after saying that, it's such a great pleasure for me to tell you that you can also win the double ticket just by going to learnextra.co.za/After Earth. It's so simple, and you're going to enter this keyword, which is "and." E-N-D. That's it. Today is our last day for the competition. So we're just ending it on that note. Our keyword for today is end. And the winner for yesterday's competition is Vanessa Simmons. Congratulations to you, Vanessa. We'll be in contact with you and let you know when can you get your tickets. But tomorrow it's happening, guys. After Earth, tomorrow it is launching on your cinemas, the 7th of June. What we've been all waiting for. So let's see what life after Earth is like tomorrow. Let's watch out. Oh, I nearly said Vanessa.
It's okay, Vanessa. It's okay.
It's okay. Let's continue, Anita.
Thanks, guys.
I actually asked my insiders that if we could sell our own Len Extra shares, how much could they buy them with?
In our company.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
so
they're
I'm
gonna be
selling our
very
shares over
expensive.
Facebook. Let's see if they can bid.
I think we can't start lower than R5. But let's see who's going to go up.
All right.
Because there's potential here, guys.
Mm.
We are the learning and entertainment and
And you know,
education
students are
channel.
the most rich people ever. They have a lot of money.
Absolutely. Let's carry on, guys. We're talking about shares. I want to talk about our next investment class. It's called Debentures. Now, I know my matrics are busy studying. They're writing tomorrow. So I hope this is a little bit of revision for all of you. A debenture, how does that differ from shares? What is a debenture? Let's have a look here, guys. Why would I want to invest into a debenture? When you buy a debenture, you are in fact loaning that business money. Now remember, we said when we buy shares, we are buying a little bit of that company. I'm not loaning him the money. I'm investing into his company because I want him to use that money to create profit so I can get dividends. Now, with a debenture, a company is basically saying, I need a little bit of cash. I need a loan. So I can say, I'm going to buy a debenture. It's only for a certain time and a certain amount of money that I put into this. Remember now, with shares, we get dividends in return. What do I get in return for debentures? For a debenture, they have to, this is very nice, they have to give me that entire amount that I loan to them, plus whatever interest rate they're going to pay me. So let's have a look what I wrote here. The company will issue you with a certificate that has the interest rate and the term on it. Term meaning how long, the period that they're using your money for. Now, the nice thing is with shares, I don't know for a fact that they're going to pay me dividends. Because remember, that company might not make a profit and they can't declare dividends, or they decide, this year we're not declaring dividends, we're putting the profit back into the business. So I might not get something in return. Where with a debenture, you know, you're guaranteed you get that amount of money back, plus the interest that they're going to pay you. So it's a very nice investment to do. Let's have a look. It says whether the company makes a profit or a loss, they are obliged. So they have to. It's like a legal thing. It's a contract between you and that company to pay you your interest amount at the end of that term. Remember the term they specified on the certificate that they handed out to you. Why do companies sell debentures? We just spoke about it now. When they are in need of capital, they sell debentures to the public. So I think it's actually nice. We can say that we are helping them to get a loan. We are so nice because now they didn't have to go to the bank. They didn't have to go to the bank and say, I need a loan of 20 million and they're going to pay extreme high interest rates. The public is helping them, giving them an IOU. So I give you the money, and later on, after that term has passed, they give me that amount of money plus interest back. It's a win-win situation. The company will pay you back your original investment sum and the interest. So that's very nice. Remember, with shares, we never know. There's no guarantee. With debentures, it's a guarantee that you're going to get that amount of money back. Next, we are going to talk about unit trusts. This is a very popular form of investment. Oh, what is a unit trust? So easy. A unit is one little thing, And a trust says to me, it's like a pool. So you can think about it as a pool of shares. Now, what makes this so great? Unit trusts take different shares from top performing companies and they can put it in a little bundle. So now I come along and I say, I only have 100 Rand a month. There's no ways you are going to go to the JSE and invest and buy shares in those top companies with your 100 Rand. The difference is all of the little public members come. Someone has 100 Rand, someone has 10,000, someone has 50 Rand, and they're all pooling their money together. It's like a stokvel. You guys know what a stokvel is? Please explain to all our people, because some people don't know what a stokvel is.
Well, a stokvel, guys, it is whereby a certain group of people, they meet maybe month end or weekly so, just to give one another money. They speak in terms that we're going to be having this much. We're all popping out 200 bucks, for example, and then one person gets to take that money for that week or that month, and then it rotates like that.
Very nice. So we're saying here, people come and pool their money together. Now, there's someone that's called a fund manager. This fund manager decides what's going to happen with those funds. He's going to say, I'm watching this, I'm watching the JSE, I see this company's doing well, so we're going to buy shares in this, we're going to sell. And he makes the choices for what's going to happen with your money, for your unit trust. Let's have a look at the summary I made for you guys here. I said to you, it's a collection of various companies' shares. It's not just investing in one company. Diversity. Think now what I said to you about all the eggs. A unit trust is wonderful because if one company in that unit trust has a bit of a wobble and their prices go down, there's still all the other shares in other companies in your unit trust that might be doing well. Their prices are stable or they're even going up, and that makes up for the loss that this one little company had. So I said it would be very hard for an individual to invest in all of those shares on their own. Because remember, we can't afford it. We don't have that money. But buying unit trusts make it possible for an individual to benefit from investing in those top performing companies. Who knows, on the JSE, when you go and look in the newspaper, there's something called blue chip shares. Now, this is just for interest sake. A blue chip share is my top performing companies. And this is actually where you want to buy shares in, but they're very, very expensive. So some of those unit trusts take the top blue chip companies and then they buy shares in them. So you can say that your unit trust is part of the blue chip companies. Very good. Let's have a look at the last point. Unit trusts, second last, is not as high a risk as investing in shares. I just explained that. Diversity. Because we've got that bundle, remember what we said? Should one share lose value, the other shares will help you not to lose excessive amounts of capital. So it balances it out. You can purchase unit trusts on the JSE. So this is similar to, where do I buy? What do I buy? Shares. Yes, you guys are right, on the JSE, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And the unit trust prices are published in the newspaper every day. Why is this a good thing? So I can monitor, I can open it every morning. Have you guys seen when you drive to school, when they sell the newspapers, it's always the old people that are buying newspapers. Have you seen? It's not like the young people, because those are the people that are clever. They're investing. They get that newspaper every morning and they're going to go, ooh, 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 how's my share doing? Shop, shop, my bra, I've got some money. That's what we want, eh? So I want to see all of you buying those newspapers when you've invested. This makes it easy for the investor to keep track of the performance of their shares. Each unit trust has a fund manager. I told you this. And he will decide what's going to happen with that money. Our last investment type is called a fixed deposit. Now, I'm sure some of you have heard about this. This is my lowest risk investment type. When we say you want to invest into a bank account or keep your money under your mattress, this is really the way to go because this is safe. Now, fixed deposit. It's a fixed time or a term. And this term is anything between 6 to 60 months. Now, I go to the bank, I give them the money, and for the 6 months, or the 10 months, or the 20 months, that money is stuck in there. You cannot add money, you cannot withdraw money. So it actually forces you to save, which is good, because otherwise I know you would go take money out to do shopping. So now it says you cannot add or withdraw during this term until the term has ended. We are saying here, the longer that you invest in your money, the higher the interest rate's going to be. So it's very wise to put it in as long as you can. If you have no direct plans with this money, then leave it, let it grow. Because if you leave it for a 60-month period, they're going to pay you way more interest than if you only leave it in for 6 months. Makes sense. So rather leave it. If you have nothing special you want to do with it, just let it stay there by itself. Okay, I just want to quickly go down. Fixed deposit should be used as a long term. We're saying this, as I just said, if you only keep your money in there for 6 months, you're not going to earn a lot of interest. You might as well just keep your money at home. So long term, 5 years, keep it in there, and then it grows. At that end of that period, they pay you out the original amount plus the interest that you've earned on it. Guys, it's time for exam questions. I don't know if there's any questions on Facebook that
I have
we
some
need to
questions
answer first.
first.
Let's have a look.
One is, how do we determine the shares per company?
How do we?
Determine the number of shares per company
Um,
and the value of the shares. For example, if let's say you're having 100 shares, how do you determine that each
Yes.
share is going to be 1 rand or how much?
Yes. Obviously, the company will decide how many shares they're going to put onto the JSE. Now, that's very important because a company needs to be realistic because they need to keep in mind that they need to pay out those dividends. So they can't go crazy and say they're going to put 20,000 shares on there. They need to be realistic and say, we would be able to pay dividends for 1,000 shares. The value is determined by the supply and the demand. You guys will remember that from business studies and EMS and lower grades where we say, if someone wants a share, the demand is high and the price will go up. If someone doesn't want a share, if they're not so interested in it, the demand will be low, so my price will be lower. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, very clear.
All right, let's carry on.
Yes, please.
Now, I've started off with a few or 2 multiple choice questions. You guys know that you always get multiple choice, and sometimes they can be a bit sneaky, these multiple choice questions. So let's have a look at this. It says, Zapiro buys 1,000 shares at 5 rand each. The return he receives from this investment is in the form of what? I wondered, did anyone actually answer my question just now? When I said, can you tell me, what is the return that you get on a share? It's exactly the same question because look at this. He bought 1,000 shares. Now, I want to know, what is the return on shares? Is it interest? No, it is dividends. Do you guys remember we spoke about that? Let's look at the next one. It says, this business can be listed on the JSE. Let's just recap a little bit here. What form of ownership did we say can be listed on the JSE? A public company. And now, trick question, what is at the end of their name? LTD. So let's go look at the options here. It says, Carician and Salin Plumbers, CC. What does CC stand for? Close Corporation, not limited. Sparks Sports Limited, LTD. I know that's the answer, but I just want to show you this tricky one here. What is PTY Ltd? Because now if they were clever, they would have put that option first and you would go circle it. But what is PTY Ltd? That is a private company. It's not a public company. So just be careful of that one. Okay, let's look at my next question that I've got for you guys. Question 2 says, assume that you are given 200 Rand per month as pocket money and you want to invest most of this in the JSE. Suggest 2, they're very nice to bold this for you, 2 ways in which this investment can be done. Now, let's think. To me, this is a little bit of a funny question because how can it be done? Are they wanting me to say, do I go to a stockbroker or do I log in on my computer? Or does it mean, how can this be done? What can I buy? So I'm going to answer it in both ways here. I'm going to be now very clever. I'm going to say to them, I can go onto the internet and I can purchase stock on the JSE directly. Or I can go to a broker. But did you guys know that you could go to a bank? Banks help you with this. So I'm being clever. I'm saying 2 ways in which this investment can be done. I can go to those. And then what can I buy if I want to buy something on the JSE? I can either buy, going to make a little bracket there, I can either buy shares. And who can remember the other one that I told you? I said to you, shares. And just now we went through unit trusts and I told you you can buy them on the JSE. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Catchy, tricky question. Unit trusts.
Very tricky.
They're very clever, these guys. So guys, be careful. Be careful of this one. Keep an eye out for it.
Well said. Saying that, Mindsetters, let me remind you that as we're about to take an ad break, you could also register for free for the Career Indaba that's happening at Sandton Convention Center from the 20th up until the 27th, the 22nd of June. Make sure that you register for free to be guided on your careers. We'll see you right after the break. Right, welcome back, Mindsetters. I have some great feedback that I need to give you, Anita, from the Facebook page. I have a comment that a Mindsetter has just said, just for you. Do you want to hear this one?
Absolutely.
Right, Sabelo Madala says, wow, can I employ this teacher to teach me alone? Lol, and I also like her, and if she makes examples, wow, she's so nice.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mindsetter. And one last thing before you carry on. Very interestingly, I asked the Mindsetters how much would they pay, would they buy our shares if we were to sell shares as Len Extra. So I have some interesting stuff here. I have a Mindsetter that says 7 Rand per value. Someone says 6 Rand. I'm not going to say their names because the one with the best, I think you can help me. I'll pick up 3 values and then the one that you think has the best one, I'll send a shout out to them. Okay. 7 Rand, I have 6 Rand, I have 4 Rand, I have 10 Rand, I have 5,000 and 150,538 per value.
Yes, well, this person obviously believes in our company.
Oh, so and I have one last one. I cannot forget this one. I have one that says, with the way Mindset helps us, they are priceless. So here's another one, priceless.
That's a very good one. But I think realistically speaking, let's go for 10 Rand.
Let's go for 10 Rand. Let's see who said 10 Rand. Zetu Mabuzane, a shout out to you and thank you for taking part and learning with us. Absolutely. Congratulations to you. You have won yourself 10 Rand. Due to you,
one share.
By you. Due to you, by you. Nice one.
Let's carry on. We still got 2 questions to go, so let's focus. It says, read the scenario below and answer the questions that follows. It says, investment, the best choice ever. Zenle Nkobu from Bisho won 500,000. I'm just going to underline this, guys.
It's Ngobo, Anita.
Oh, sorry. Ngobo?
Yes.
Is it Zinhle?
Zinhle.
Oh, Zinhle.
Yes.
Ngobo.
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 Yes.
Zinhle. Ngobo. I'm practicing. From Bisho won 500,000 in the national lottery on the 1st of December 2008. In January 2009, she bought 30,000 shares at 10 Rand each from Sassel Limited. In December 2010, she sold all her shares at 15 Rand each. Let's look what else they say. The remaining 200,000 was invested at a commercial bank as a fixed deposit for, very important, they tell us 2 years at 15% simple interest per year. Now, let's look what they ask us. It says, question number 1, answer Zintle. Zintle.
Yes.
Hey,
Nice one.
answer Zintle's investment. Analyze Zintle's investment in terms of the risk factor. Now, remember we said some investments are high risk, some are medium risk, some are low risk. So let's have a look. What did she invest in? Firstly, I'm going to write this down. She invested in shares. And who can tell me? I said to you, you need help with shares because you can lose all your money. This makes them high risk. That's what they're asking. And what else did she invest in? She also invested into a fixed deposits. I'm just going to write this next to here, in a fixed deposit. And this is, I said to you, it's like keeping your money under the mattress. It's a low risk. So guys, let's quickly just think back here. I said to you, your investment portfolio needs to be diverse. You need to have different investments. So she was very clever. She bought shares and she has a fixed deposit. In other words, her risk is spread out very nicely. She's got high risk. She's taking a chance. She's investing in shares, but she's also being safe. She also took 200,000, put it in a fixed deposit that she knows in the long term is going to earn her a little bit of interest. So that's very clever. She's covering all her bases for in case some loss happens, she'll be covered. Let's have a look at the next question. It says, which investment earned a higher return over the 2-year period? Now this is a complicated one. It says to us even, show all your workings. Now we need to go look here. She invested, let's just go back to the top here. She invested, bought 30,000 shares at 10 Rand each. So let's just quickly go and write this down. 30,000 at 10 Rand each. If my maths isn't bad, I think that gives me 300,000. You guys need to watch me here if I'm making mistakes, eh? And then it said to us, in December 2010, she sold all her shares. All her shares. How many did she buy? 30,000. So now, let's quickly write this here. She sold 30,000 at 15 Rand each. My math says to me that's 450,000, if I'm not mistaken. Now, how do I work this out? I say I bought 30,000 at 10 Rand each. I then sold them at 15,000. So if I'm looking here, I can see 450,000 minus 300,000 gives me, I'm just going to make a little bracket there, 150,000. So she's gained, she's made 150,000. Think back to the beginning of this lesson. I said to you, if you sell shares for more than you bought them for, we said that you had a capital gain. So we can see that Zintle had a capital gain of 150,000 Rand. Now, I'm quickly going to try and make some space here. Okay, I'm going to have to work down the side here. I need to also now say she invested into a fixed deposit. She took her 200,000 and she invested it for 2 years at 15%. I'm going to be now very sneaky and carry on here. Excuse me for that. I'm just a little bit squashed with space here. We say 200,000. She invested it for 15%. Now let's quickly go grab the calculator here, because my maths isn't that good. So she took 200,000 and she invested it at 15% per year. That gives me 30,000. But remember, we said here that she invested it for 2 years. So I need to say 30,000 times 2 gives me 60,000. So how do I now determine which one of the two made a higher return? I need to go and work out a percentage here, guys. Now, this is the only tricky little bit, but this is maths grade 5 or something stupid when you did percentages. So let's now go and see how good you guys are. I'm going to once again carry on working here with my percentage. So I have to say I made 150,000 and I divide that by my original investment, which was 300,000. And I go and times that by 100. So let's quickly use my calculator again. You see, I'm very old school, so I need to do this the long way around. I'm showing you how to do this like we did at school. I know you guys do fractions and brackets, and let's do it the old-fashioned way. I'm saying 150,000 divided by 300,000 times 100 gives me 50%. So I know that she made a 50% return on her shares. Now we've worked this out. We've said she invested the other 200,000 at 15% for 2 years. So she made the 60,000. Now I said to you, we take how much she made and we go and divide it by the original investment amount, and we times it by 100. Calculator, please. Let's go. We say 60,000 divided by 200,000 times 100 gives me 30%. Now I'm asking you guys, with just looking at this, which one, look at my question, which investment earned a higher return? It's very obvious. The shares. So that's going to be your final answer. You're going to say shares had the highest return because they had 50% and my fixed had 30%. Now your teacher is going to have to be just try and quickly erase all of this. With the speed here of lightning, I'm quickly rubbing it out. We're starting to read. The next question says, recommend any 2 forms of investments to Zintle besides the 2 mentioned in the scenario above. Now remember, we already spoke about this. We said she's already invested in shares and she's done a fixed deposit. So what else can she now invest in? Unit trusts? A fixed deposit, I'm going to say that. And just for interest's sake, she could also invest in something like a collectible. What is a collectible, guys? Think of the name, collect. We gather something, we collect Krugerrands, art, stamps, painting. Could invest in something like that. So I'm going to say unit trusts. I'm going to say fixed deposits. And just for interest's sake, I know it only says 2 deposits. And then lastly, I'm just going to give you a third one to say collectibles. Just like that. Any other questions that we've got from here so far?
We have some comments, no questions.
Let's have a look.
Are enjoying the lesson.
Am I not making mistakes?
No, not at all.
Oh, very good. I'm very
Yeah,
glad.
Zenan is saying, thanks for the lesson. It's really, really awesome.
Oh, nice. At least my brain is still working with the
And your
mathematics.
mathematics are still
Oh,
fine.
yay.
I like it how you're doing it the old school way.
Absolutely, because that really explains how you get there. Because
Mm.
often
You're
if you
taking
don't
it through
know,
the basics.
absolutely, because I'm so old.
No cheating.
Okay, guys, let's carry on here. Now, this, in my opinion, is sort of the hardest way that they can ask this investment type of question. Now, straight away, you get a massive fright because you see this big table with share prices and what does it stand for? It is actually so easy because it gives you all the information. You're simply going to read off the table. So let's have a look at what they gave us here. It says, study the information on the share trading shown below and answer the questions that follow. So they're giving us information about chemicals. Now, very importantly, I just quickly want to explain to you what's happening here. It says, here's a key. So it basically explains to you what's happening in this table. Firstly, if you have a look here, they give you the name. I'm just going to use a different color so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. This is the name of the company that's listed. They talk about close. So look at this. It says market close. In other words, the day when the market stopped trading, this was the price that it closed at. They talk about a high. Let's look here. It says the day's high. In other words, what was the highest price that this share traded for that day? They talk about a low. Look, they're very nice. They say to us, this is the day's low. In other words, this is the lowest price that it's traded for that day. DM says, my daily move. Now, this is a very nice indication because we can see, wow, this went up a lot. But sure, unfortunately, those went down a little bit. Let's have a look here at our YM. This says, what is my percentage movement in the last 12 months? In the last year, how did these shares perform? This is a very nice way of looking and comparing companies. When you're going to go look here, I obviously see that this company over here, 5.3, tells me automatically they're doing very well. If we look at DY, it says dividend yield. Our PY is our price earnings ratio, and DV is our days volume. So now let's look at what they're asking here. It says, name the institution that publishes this type of information. When we spoke about shares, I said to you one of the nice things about the JSE is that every day they publish these prices in the newspaper. So my answer here will be the JSE, and I would be a little bit wise, and I would go and answer the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. This handwriting, guys, very shocking. Okay, stock exchange. Let's look at the next question. Can you see? It's nothing to panic about so far. Very easy. Number B says, list. Remember we spoke about this last week. When it says list, you only mention those. You do not discuss. You don't go and write a paragraph like this because you're wasting time. You're not going to finish your paper. List 4 functions of the institution mentioned in question A. Oh, they're so clever. They don't even give you the name there. So we know it's the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the JSE. Now it says purely, just list, give me 4 functions of the JSE. This is very easy. They bring together the buyers and the sellers. In other words, I want to go and buy a share, and the company's offering them, so this is where I can go. They bring us together. I can monitor the shares by looking at the JSE. That can be a second answer. Every day I can look, and they've got these big tables, and I can see, this is doing good, this is doing bad. Remember, I said they publish this in newspapers. So that's also something that they do. It's their function. every day, they put this in the newspaper so we can track what's going on. And then lastly, for my fourth one, I would say that I'm also tracking my stockbroker, because he might be giving me information and I can go and double check him. I can go and see, yes, he is doing a good job. This is the price he gave me. And in fact, I double checked it on the JSE and that's what it is. That's 4. It says here, number C, briefly explain the share activities of Free World. Now, it gives us the company name. So we're going to go back up to the table here. Let's go look at Free World. I'll use a different color pen again. Let's try blue. Free World. Here we go, guys. So now, they're merely asking, mention what's happening. I told you, you go and read it off here. So you absolutely just going to go and write down. The closing volume for the day was 1,180. The highest price that it traded for that day was 1,200. The lowest price that it traded for was 1,160. And then my daily movement said that they had a loss that day. So easily they can ask you this for 4 marks. And you go and read it off. It's so easy. You just look what it says. Remember I said this was your closing price. Your high for the day was 1,200. Your low for the day, 1,160. And it made a loss that day. Let's quickly go and look. Question number D. Describe how the information given in the table above can assist you in deciding which shares you want to buy. That table is wonderful because you can compare. Remember what I said to you. If you just go and look at this, where they said, this is my yearly movement, I can go look at all of these companies and I can see how they are performing. So it will help me make a choice in when I want to purchase shares. Name 3 ways that could be used to invest in shares as a form of investment. Now, this is also one of those tricky questions like we had previously. It says, once again, name, we're not going to explain, 3 ways that could be used to invest. You can have unit trusts, but I can also go to a bank to help me. I can go to a broker and also some insurance companies. So there's 4 for you guys, not even just 3. And my last question for today says, I just want to make this a bit bigger. In which company would you buy shares? And motivate your answer. Now remember, you can basically write anything here as long as you motivate your answer. Let's just have a quick look here. If I was writing down this answer, guys, when I circled this and I said to you 5.3, that company is doing very well, so I would use Afrox. Quick. Sorry I had to rush a little bit, but we made it, we got through it.
Right, nice one. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Anita. Let me tell them about the good stuff now, just before we wrap up. One is that we are having the last day today for the competition, the After Earth competition. And if you didn't enter, you can enter now. The keyword for today's show is "and." It's simple. So enter now at learnextra.co.za/After Earth. And secondly, you can join me on Saturday as we are going to be having a special revision for grade 12s from 9:30 up until 1:30. From 9 o'clock, we're going to be having our math session up until 10:30. From 10:30 up until 11 o'clock, we'll be having our physical sciences. And lastly, we'll be having the last show as physical life sciences. So mindsetters, see you on Saturday, and make sure that you're still a mindsetter even though you're not writing your exams. And know what, Macmillan rocks so much.
Absolutely.
The notes that we're having, they're so handy, they're so useful, and we're glad that you guys are enjoying them. So if you don't have them, also make sure that you have them. From us to the mindsetters, we just want to say thank you very much, guys. Keep on believing in yourselves, and if you stop believing in yourself, just know that no one will ever believe in you. Study very hard and smartly, so don't just take anything easy, and cheating doesn't help. So there's always a way, whether you like it or not. We love you so much. Peace.